guys, what we're going to work on today is taking problems from English and changing them into math. Now that's not a new skill for you. We've done this before, looked at word problems, and you've even looked at this in systems of equations, even in Algebra 1. However, this is now Algebra 2. So instead of just finding systems of equations with two variables and having two equations, we're going to have systems of equations that have three variables with three equations from the story. So it's getting more involved as you get older here. So let's take a look at this problem here. It says that the sum of three numbers is 6. The third number is the sum of the first and second numbers, and the first number is one more than the third number. Find the numbers. So if I read it that fast, it's a lot of information there. So you can read through a problem rather quickly on the first read through, but we're going to have to slow things down in order to get what we need from this problem. I'm going to give you some steps that we're going to solve in solving this and changing it from English into math. So I think I'll put the steps over here on the side. There we go. So the first step that we are going to follow, so steps, I should say an S on the back. First step we need to do is we need to figure out what we're even looking for here. So what are they even asking us about? That usually comes towards the end of a situation. We are finding the numbers is what it says. What numbers are we talking about? So let's go back to the beginning. The sum of three numbers is 6. So I've got three things that I don't know here. I don't know what my three numbers are, and I want to find all three of those numbers. So step 1 is going to be define the variables. And it's going to be important that you write this down. Okay, so I'm going to put write it. Okay, and I know some of you are thinking, oh, Mrs. Freeze, I don't need to write this down. I can just keep track of what's what. No, I want you to write this down, okay? Because the more information that you can offload onto paper instead of having to keep it in your working memory, the more space you have to actually think about calculating stuff. So we're going to write this down. So we have three numbers that we don't know. So I just feel like using X, Y, and Z. If there's a problem that you feel like using like special letters like P for price or A for age or whatever, that's fine. But on this one, they're pretty generic numbers. So let's just go with X and Y and Z. So X is going to be my first number. And Y is going to be my second number. And Z is going to be my third number. Sorry, my computer's running a little slow today. It's a Monday when I'm recording this anyway. I don't know what day it is when you're watching it. So we have three unknowns. X, Y, and Z are our variables, and X stands for the first number, Y is the second, and Z is the third. Okay, so we're going to write it down so we can keep track of what's what. Now let's go back up to our story and read that first sentence again. It says that the sum of three numbers is 6. The sum of three numbers is 6. Sum, that's a math word. What's that telling us? Yeah, that's telling you you're adding stuff together. We're going to find the sum of these three numbers, and that is 6. So let's take that sentence, and I think I'll mark it in red, and I'll write this equation in red so we know what's the source of it. The sum of the three numbers is 6. So I'm going to add together my three numbers. Oh. So it's going to be my first number plus my second number plus my third number. So X plus Y plus Z. That's saying that I'm adding them together. I'm finding the sum there. And it says that the sum of these numbers is what? 6? Oh, okay. So that means that this comes out to or is equal to. Is often where your equal sign is going to go because it is or is equal to 6. So that takes our first sentence here from our story and changes it from English into, oh, sorry about that green line, into math. I wonder if I can make that go away. There we go. So that second step is going to be change English into math. It's really lagging. Oh, you probably can't see that. I wonder if my picture's in the way. Here, let me scroll a little bit. I can't scroll until it's done writing. There we go. Change English into math. So, oh my goodness. So, we need to do that with the rest of our story. So, let's see. I'm going to switch colors here. Let's take this next sentence and analyze it. It says that the third number is the sum of the first and second numbers. The third number. Okay, the third number. So the third number. What's my third number? What letter are we using to stand for third number? Oh, yes, that's Z. So the third number means this is going to start out with a Z. Is, so that's where my equal sign is going to go. Oops, I'm going to go back so I can see the rest of it. The third number is the sum of the first and second numbers. So what am I doing mathematically with first and second numbers? I'm finding the sum of them. So sum means I'm adding. So I'm going to add the first and second numbers together, which are my x and my y. So x plus y. Do you see why it's helpful to have those written down here in purple so that I can see what's what? I don't have to think about it every time. So the third number, z, is, that means equals, the sum of the first and second. That's where you get the x plus y part. So there's my second equation. Now let's do the third equation. So how about green for this one? The first number, you know what, I think I'm going to underline this part in stages here. The first number. What are we talking? The first number, what letter is that? X, there you go. So the first number, that's going to be x, is, what's this mean in math? Is equal to, okay, so x equals, let me write that down. X equals 1 more than the third number. 1 more than the third number. So 1 more than, what does more than mean you're doing? You're adding to something. So 1 more than the third number. What letter stood for the third number? Remember? That's Z. Okay, so we'll have x equals 1 plus z. So now you have a system of equations. If you look at the red and the blue and the green, we have 3 equations there with 3 unknowns like we've been solving. So now you could solve that system of equations. I probably would use substitution because that green one jumps out at me that x is equal to 1 plus z. So every place I see an x, what could I put? 1 plus z. So that would be probably how I start, but I'll let you solve that however you like. So our third step here is going to be solve the system. I'll just put solve since my computer's lagging super bad today. Oh, and you might not be able to see that. I'm not sure where my picture is. So there you go. It says step 3 is solve. So that is what I wanted to show you today. We'll do just a couple of problems today. And remember that Jesus loves you and so do I, so do your math.